All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I know it's been a while here, but we are back with another episode of Inside the Minecraft Studio. And we have a very special guest with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to meet the other part of our green team in the UHC Season 2. Hashtag Trump Train!
Trump Train!
DoctrZombie, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I've been entertaining your chat with mostly dick jokes, honestly. That seems to be their modus operandi.
You know, that is A-okay. My chat seems to love that for some reason. I don't understand. I mean, I make subtle references like wood jokes and stuff like that. But, yeah, no, they definitely do appreciate that. So, yeah, why don't we start off with a little introduction here? Doc, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
All right. I'm DoctrZombie. I do YouTube videos, mostly of Minecraft and mostly of 2B2T, the world's worst server, which is probably how most of you came to know Stryak via FitMC, and probably how most of you know me, if you do know me. There is a chance that you know me through Stryak. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the ballpark.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know this, but we did a UHC series in the very beginning, and I believe Doc and I were on opposite teams in the first one there, because it was Fit Carter and I. But the second one, we actually teamed up, and green team ended up winning that UHC. So
we sure as hell did. Oh, man. And we did it with style and class.
Yeah, and Tavix was with us as well. Unfortunately, Tavix got killed early, and we have a floating flag right in the middle of
What
here.
is that? There's some insanity going on here. It is Pedro, is it not, the flag? Very nice.
Something like that, yeah. And then we have that's what people do. Like, there are a couple admins that will normally hop on here, and they like to use invisibility potions, and basically get in the way of all my builds here.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's see. You know what? I think I might have forgotten to give you food here, just in case.
Oh
you get
yeah,
hungry.
I am starving a little bit. Not enough. But
I hope you like sushi, because we got some raw fish there.
I do like sushi. I recently got my wife to like sushi after many years of demanding that she try it.
Oh, that's perfect. So yeah, that's actually a. What was that?
Give me the sushi.
Oh, that is right. I cannot give that to you here. I'll tell you what. We'll do something real quick. Go to /warp spawn. We're gonna do a little segue here.
That warp does not exist.
Try. Oh, I'm sorry. /spawn, and then I can throw you the fish here.
The technical problems continue, folks.
It's alright. If they've been to my stream, they know to expect nothing less. So.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
That'll be enough.
All right. So yeah, when we start off, what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies here?
My first hobby is trying to remember the command to join you back in the location.
Oh, /is space warp space Stryak.
Got it.
Perfect.
Okay, so the question was, what do I like to do? What are my hobbies? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, the obvious answer, of course, is video games and YouTube. I've been doing Minecraft YouTube videos since 2010.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, my first couple videos were very basic tutorials about how to survive in the overworld and how to build an alarm system for your base. And yeah, they go back to 2010, which, if my math and memory lines up correctly, is about when Minecraft first got survival mode. Up until that point, it was creative only and very, very early alpha. So I went online to find out, how can I build an alarm system to let me know when there's going to be a goddamn creeper outside my house.
Yeah.
And I learned a little bit about redstone clocks, and I made a tutorial. Did not have a microphone at the time, so it was a mute tutorial. And people really liked it. They were very glad to have it. So I went out and bought a headset with a microphone and started doing some tutorials about, how to find food, how to go caving, all that stuff that we all take for granted that no one knew how to do when Minecraft was brand new.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I've never actually seen a Minecraft alarm system before. Like, why don't you tell me a little bit about that? I'm kind of curious. Like, what does it do? Does it just like blow everything up in front of the house, or? I guess it'd be more of a trap, but
what it really wound up doing was I had a 5-point clock out of redstone.
Okay.
Hooked up to a series of redstone lights that were in the wall and connected to a pressure plate. And if something stepped on the pressure plate, the lights on the wall would blink on and off until you reset the alarm.
Ooh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it was back in the day before there were additional redstone tools like the repeater and the other stuff they've got now. I don't even know or use.
Yeah.
Because I got out of redstone pretty quickly because it was too damn complicated. All you had was basically the glitching of the game to make things where a circle of redstone and redstone torches would turn itself on and off in an endless loop, and that was called a clock. And if you attached one of the ends to some sort of pulsar, you could turn it on and off, and it was neat. It was Wonder Woman says she watched that video. I'm making it chat a bit. But yeah, it was very low tech, and my house was very crappy. But I just wanted to show people how to do it.
Hey, that's fair enough. I remember, everyone's first Minecraft house is usually just that standard, 9x9 or 3x3 open area of wood planks and a door and a torch on the inside with a bed. So, or at least that was my first one. So, that's pretty cool. So, what else do you do on your channel there?
I love to play all sorts of games. I play a lot of strategy games in my spare time, and I like to try to get people into games that they might not have heard of, or maybe they don't know a lot about. Lately, I've been doing a series on RimWorld. RimWorld's fantastic. I could talk all night about that game. And I've also been doing one on a game called Chromagun, which I actually got a free copy of. It to date is the only free thing I've received from being a YouTuber, a amateur YouTuber at least.
Yeah.
So I felt like, well, if they gave me a free game, I should try it, and it's actually pretty good. It's similar to Portal.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that sounds super cool. So about RimWorld? I'm curious. I've actually heard a lot of good things about that game, but I've never actually seen any screenshots or anything. I've just always heard people talking about it.
So it is a little bit like Dwarf Fortress meets Firefly. If either of those things tickle your vagina, then that is a game that you need to check out. It's got the graphics from Prison Architect.
Okay.
Instead of having to deal with the ASCII barrier that Dwarf Fortress has, it's a little bit lighter than Dwarf Fortress as far as the lore and the different things that can be done. But as a game, it stands out much better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of Firefly. So, yeah, actually, that's kind of a nice little segue there. So I was talking about television. You big television guy? You watch TV, not watch TV, or?
I don't watch much, but I do watch a couple things. My wife is a big TV watcher, and that remains the reason that I do less YouTube recording than I'd like to, because the computer, the TV, and the bed are all in the same room. So if my wife is lying in bed watching TV, I can't do recordings. But I'm not bitter about that. That's I have to spend time with my wife. That's a thing that you have to do.
I guess when you're married.
I guess when you're married and you have 3 screaming children. But I do love The Walking Dead. I am obsessed with The Walking Dead, and recently my wife and I started watching Stranger Things together. That is an excellent show as well.
Yeah, that was a good one. How far in are you?
I think we just finished episode 5 or 6. We're about, I guess, halfway through the first season.
It's really good. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess are you guys? So you have Netflix, and do you watch any movies on there, or anything you really prefer? Or?
Occasionally, mostly when I watch TV, it's because I'm spending time with the family. I don't pull it up on my own. If I'm all alone, there's no better entertainment form than video games. I've watched a couple things in the past.
Oh, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I know I've said this. I'm pretty sure in every one, but every one of these inside the Minecraft studios. But whenever a good friend of mine comes in from out of town, we always just find just the shittiest, most violent, horror movies on Netflix. But they're the B-list horror movies that they're not supposed to be scary, and you can tell all the actors are having fun, but they're really just making a movie to make a movie. So those are what we really like going through. So if you ever get the chance to watch some of the really bad ones on Netflix, I highly recommend it. It's pretty great. So.
Oh man, I've got a story about a bad movie.
Oh yes, I love. Like Taraka told me you had a lot of stories, so I'm expecting you to basically
I'm
carry
a
this interview.
story guy. I don't know if it runs in my family. My dad was a big storyteller as well, but so I've got a story about a bad movie.
Yeah.
A couple actually. I actually met my wife. Our first date was going to see House of the Dead. Oh God. House of the Dead and then A Bad Diner. And somehow she married me. God bless her. But that's not the bad movie I'm thinking of. But in fact, so my wife's mother, we were living in her house at the time to, save money going to college, poor folk, etc., etc. So she knew that I was into zombies. That's like my thing. Clearly, I've got a zombie nickname. Somebody in chat asked where my nickname came from, my handle. I can get on that story in a bit.
Oh boy.
But I like zombie movies. The thing is, I really like good zombie movies, not shitty ones.
Yeah.
And she bought a zombie movie because the ad on the box said that it was the American version of Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
Have
no.
you seen Shaun of the Dead?
I own that. I bought that after, I saw it once and went out and bought it that next day.
Shaun of the Dead is great. Hot Fuzz is even better.
Yes.
But this movie was no Shaun of the Dead.
Oh boy.
This movie was called Dead and Breakfast. And if you get a chance to see Dead and Breakfast, don't fucking see Dead and Breakfast. It was god awful. Oh my god. It was. If you think a zombie movie needs zombies that sing and dance, then you need to be shot. It was horrendous. We didn't even finish. We got 2/3 of the way through the movie, and my wife and I said, No, we're not putting ourselves through this crap anymore.
Oh my god. So it's basically like Dawn of the Dead meets High School Musical, from what I understand here.
Yeah, you're pretty much right on the money. There was a guy who was resurrecting the zombies as like a necromancer, but he was a zombie. It was horrible.
Oh boy! Wow, that's insane. That actually sounds like something I might have to check out here. Oh boy! So yeah, let's just go. How'd you get your name there?
All right, so this one's gonna be kind of a throwback here. How did I get my handle? I picked up the name DoctrZombie in college. I had a previous handle when I was younger that was getting stale. I kind of wanted to move on to something new. And in college, I was drawing a webcomic. I drew a webcomic for many years called Playing Dead. And I highly doubt that anyone out there can even find it because the domain expired and I was happy to let it go because I didn't want my kids Googling it and finding out who I used to be. But I have all the old images of the Playing Dead comic on my hard drive, and I've uploaded a few to some people in Discords. Trying to remove my personal info in doing so. But yeah, probably until the YouTube channel, Playing Dead Comic was probably my longest running creative experiment.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's super cool. So have you done any other kind of comics since then, or?
Hold on a second, I have to actually start this live stream properly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, we're doing drinks. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. Let me go get a glass. We're doing this. Let's do this right.
Oh man, for those of you who are currently listening and know my alcohol problems, I have switched to Keystone Light.
All right.
My budget is so bad.
Yep, I got my mason jar here. This is my preferred drinking glass. Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Get a little vodka going. Oop, that's a bit more than a little. So it's going to be an interesting stream.
Cheers, mate.
Here's to you, my friend. All right.
Time to see two drunken idiots commentate over a children's block game. Well played. Well played, sir.
You know, that actually reminds me, I stopped in for a little bit. I believe you were streaming with Fit once when you were working on Fort Dick there, and I believe you said you were having a couple drinks that night as well.
Yeah, I got buzzed that night. That was a good night. I've done a couple fucked up Fridays that I've gotten really wasted. Those are fantastic. There's one where it was right after the Russia invasion started.
Yeah.
I had like a 6-pack and a bottle of wine that I wanted to polish off. And oh my God, that was one of the funniest live streams I've ever done. I died so many times. The Ender Dragon killed me. Baba J killed me by accident a bunch of times. That remains probably my favorite YouTube, or really it was a Twitch actually, moment.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's continue with the 2B2T there. And chat, get your questions ready, because after we're done with this 2B2T little segment talking about here, we're going to take some questions. So yeah, 2B2T. That's
world's worst server.
That's what I've been told there, and I don't know. People keep always asking me like, "Why don't you play 2B2T?" And I'm just like, you know what? That's their territory. I'm gonna let them handle that. And
because it hurts, man. It's not a pleasant experience. You got to get used to it. For one, the server is fucking laggy as hell. If you didn't join before Rusher did, you have to wait in a queue. That's god awful. I don't know why people join, especially because the stuff that they're really interested in, the monuments, they've been done to hell and back. You can find pretty much everything that's been on 2B on YouTube if you want. And I've done 2B2T for 4 years now. Yeah, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 in March. When my first 2B2T video went up. Yeah, I'm the old school YouTuber, and I got hate like everybody else. So people are pointing out that my old videos, Sato, who is a friend of mine now, was just ripping on me constantly for being a YouTuber, and I'm like, I had like fucking 100 subscribers. Where I was a nobody then, and I'm a nobody now, and but time heals all wounds, I guess. But yeah, so I think that covers a little bit, at least.
Wow, that is insane. So would you be willing to say you were the first YouTuber on 2B2T?
If I recall correctly, when I did my first video on 2B2T, I did a search on YouTube for 2B2T, and got nothing back. My memory's bad. That may not be true. I may have seen a video and thought, it wasn't really what I hoped for. But I'm almost positive I was the first one to do a series on 2B, and certainly the first one to do a survival series about exploring and just getting by in vanilla, basically hack-free except for radar.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is super cool. I did not know that. So we're talking about, the world's worst server, as Vic likes to say, world's oldest server with one of the world's oldest, YouTubers for 2B, I guess. I feel like there's a way to say that correctly, and I just completely missed it. So I'm just going to let the chat figure it out themselves.
I've adopted the moniker the most trusted player on 2B2T.
Yeah, that's also what I've heard. Because, you're pretty, from what I understand, you're pretty in the good with every faction there. If I understand correctly. Unless there's one or two,
It is not a faction server.
Yeah.
But people form teams, people form groups that they're happy with. Fit's friends invited me to Arius long before Rusher joined, long before Arius was griefed. I just never had a chance to go, mostly because everybody invited me places. But it took a while. It wasn't like I joined in and all of a sudden everybody was my favorite, friend. But after a while, people decided that I was not cancer. Then it was, wait, this guy doesn't reveal chords. He isn't, griefing. He isn't a total dick. He's not 12. And, most people, at least, became my friend after that. Even the people who truly hate everyone.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. I guess it's a nice little reputation to have there. I don't know why I chose vodka. Vodka was a bad choice.
Vodka's a good choice.
Think
of it. There are very few bad choices when it comes to liquor.
That is true. That is true. Unless it comes in like a plastic bottle for $10, and even then, that'll get you by some nights. So, all right, yeah. Let's see what questions we got from chat here. First one I see is from FSG here. DoctrZombie, how did you feel when Rusher came to 2B2T? Actually, you kind of answered the second part of this, and people blamed you for it.
I'm actually shocked to hear that. I didn't think people blamed me when they joined 2B. Maybe if they were really smart, they may have looked at some of my earlier videos on how to survive there, because Rusher was no fucking help.
Yeah.
But when Rusher showed up, I was, and somebody else asked a similar question, so I'll hit both of these at once. When Rusher showed up in 2B2T, I was about to quit.
Yeah.
I was ready to stop doing 2B2T videos because I felt like other than wandering around and seeing what people had already built, basically people inviting me places, there was really nothing left to do. I wasn't really entertaining myself, and I didn't feel like the audience would be entertained either. But when Rusher showed up, I suddenly had a reason to film. In fact, the next video I put up was a live stream, the one that I got super drunk and went back to spawn, because I went back to kill Rushers. And I got a couple, I think maybe one.
Hey. Yeah.
There was a lot of competition. Everybody was murdering them. It was fun. It was the 80s. But Rusher gave me a reason to continue doing 2v2t videos. And that's the sad truth is he made the server interesting again. And I believe Fit has the same basic opinion where other than people moving off into no man's land, building amazing things and eventually betraying each other to griefers, there wasn't much to be done. And the Rusher invasion, with its flood of new players, terrible and good, brought a reason. And I made a video at the time saying, look, for all of his faults, the Camping Rusher understands what 2B2T is about, why it's a beautiful server, what anarchy is about. And less than a month later, I had to eat my words when he banned Taragadude from the queue over Taragadude's association with a hacker who broke into a friend of Camping Rusher's Skype account. Long story short, blah, 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 drama.
Yeah.
So then he tried to buy the server, or we found out that he tried to buy the server. And that's probably the only thing that I disliked about the Camping Rusher, other than just the personality difference between the two of us, is the fact that he tried to come in and buy a community that is the most toxic community on Minecraft.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. These are the pick of the litter when it comes to the rough Minecraft crowd, and he wanted to buy it so he could secure his YouTube fame. So at the time, I thought everything would be fine. I thought he provided a reason for coming in and playing. I thought the people who joined up would be some would, of course, beg for food, get killed, cry, and quit. But that's entertainment, you know. You make some little sissy rage quit. Some of them were dumb enough to buy the priority queue, from the Camping Rushers store, pay $20 a month from their parents' credit card, and get bed trapped by veteran players so that whenever they spawned, they would get murdered by lava and respawn over and over. That's hilarious.
That is really funny.
And I cannot believe there would be anyone of the old players who would say differently that wasn't fun. But with that came people who thought they were going to be the savior of 2B, that they were going to come in with their little YouTube friends and build their little factions and fight off the veterans, because what did the veterans know? They were just rude people who had big fish in a small pond mentality.
Yeah.
And those people actually made the place worse. They contributed to a toxic environment, drama between players. You can't even get two people to agree over, who's in their faction or who's their friend now. I mean, the reality is the old players argue with each other all the time. Take Drew Bookman and Sato. They yell and scream on the Reddit about each other all the time. And I try to keep out of that. I think that's one of the reasons that people respect me, is that I don't get pulled into drama too easily. But I think that pretty much covers my thoughts on Rusher and the Rusher incursion, as it were.
Wow, I love that answer. It's so in depth and there's so much content. It's perfect. It's perfect. So yeah, let's see. Another one from Orange Pandas here is, are you a griefer?
I have not griefed on purpose. I have occasionally broken blocks in order to get by, to move through something or to see something better. I try even to replace little things. Like if I break wheat or a tree, I'll replant before I move on. And I've always done this. You can see this in my earliest videos. Even just getting out of spawn, I would replant stuff that I might desperately need. So yeah, no, I've never griefed. I'm not a griefer. I don't agree with griefing, but I absolutely see its need in 2B2T. I understand and even respect the players who do it. Tim McNukepants comes to mind,
Yeah.
obviously, because he recently blew up the base that I was recording and staying at. I'd finished the recording, but he blew it up days later, and I'm not angry at Tim for that. It doesn't bother me at all. That's just the way 2B is. That's just the way 2B is meant to be. Without people like Tim blowing things up and griefing and killing players, it would not be an exciting Anarchy server.
That's fair enough. I know. With like you have to take the good with the anti-good, I guess.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Harambe! Hi, shout out, buddy.
I saw him in here. I was gonna wait to see if you noticed him because I knew you were watching the stream chat. Oh yeah. Let's see here. We have one from Weird Guy here. What do you consider the shittiest way to die in 2B2T?
Starving. If you starve to death, goddamn you suck. Don't starve. I mean, if you're trying to get out of spawn for like the first time, maybe. But especially after 1.11 came out and they nerfed hunger, if you starve to death, then you just didn't plan. You're not paying attention.
Oh, that's awesome.
Suffice it to say that I've starved to death a few times.
So you know the pain firsthand. So you're qualified to speak about this here.
Highly qualified, perhaps the most qualified to discuss sucky ways to die.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And let's see here. We have one from Master Sully here. Wait, DoctrZombie isn't 12? Doc, can you confirm this?
I can confirm that I am in fact 32. Wait. Yep, 32.
I've had to do that before.
To not remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think once I turned 25 a while back, like every year after that, I'm like, okay, we're just not going to bring this up anymore.
I got to be like, wait, okay, it's 2017 and my birthday's in March, so even number 32.
Oh, that's perfect. What do you think of Toro's mission to destroy all melons? That came from someone in my chat here. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Taraga dude's on a mission to destroy all melons?
That was my reaction, but hey, who knows?
This is why we play an autistic block game.
Fair enough. And let's see. We got one here from Manky Man. Welcome to the stream. I've never seen you here before. What was your favorite base on 2B2T?
Man, that's a tough one because I've been to quite a few amazing ones. So favorite base, jeez. My favorite build has got to be the Dark Souls castle. There's a massive sky base in the negative, I think it's the negative region, that is a replica of one of the levels in Dark Souls. I didn't know that when I viewed it, but it took my breath away. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it was a barely functional base. It essentially was just an art project that somebody spent tons and tons of hours on. And that one really impressed me, and that's the place where Fit and Rusher had their staged battle.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with that video, that's the one, and it's what they showed of it, Fit flying around even, is a fraction of the place. It's truly fantastic and enormous. As far as cool things I've ever seen, that one ranks right up there. But the museum I just recently went to, with all of its historical items, is amazing as well. Truly incredible. I cannot imagine the amount of effort that Oxymoron put into finding and keeping and storing and then displaying all these amazing items. And recently, Tim McNukepants went and stole them all. And I don't blame him for that. Again, told you earlier, he is what he is. However, he did that in retaliation. That was not just something he did on a whim. I'm sure he would have, but he did that immediately after, like the day after Oxymoron destroyed an old Fourth Reich base.
Ooh. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds like kind of like a daytime soap opera that you watch like when you're homesick from school and there's nothing else on the TV because Price is Right just ended. That sounds like awesome. Oh man, I'm loving all the drama here. But let's see. What else? I know I saw another one here. Someone wants you to give them a heart transplant. I have to inform you, I don't think he's a real doctor, but I could be wrong here.
I have a PhD in zombology. I am a doctor, but I'm not a medical practitioner. Sorry.
Well, there you go. Might not be able to replace your heart, but zombie will eat it. Mm.
Nom.
Nom. Let's see here. Do you have your own banner design?
I did at one point. I built a hiatus base a long time ago when I knew that I was going to have months of not recording schedule, but I'd still have playtime. Like I mentioned earlier, my recording schedule is based on when my wife isn't around.
Yeah.
So I built a base I called hiatus base. As part of that base, I built a banner. I like the color green. It's my favorite color, so the banner was partly green. I put some other little doodads on it. It wasn't really fancy, but good banners don't have to be fancy. Someone in chat asked what I think of your banner. I'm guessing that's the green circle behind us here?
Yeah, okay, so this is how the banner kind of came around. When I first started recording with Fit, I was using my old Xbox headset, and the microphone was terrible, and someone was commenting on the video, man, it sounds like he's talking through a bagel. And that's how I kind of became, they gave me the nickname the Bagel King because my mic was so terrible, and we just loved that comment there. Well, it kind of progressed where eventually I did buy my own better mic, and then I needed a banner, so I tried to make a bagel, and we displayed in one of our College Island videos with Fit and Carter here, and Carter walks up to, is either Carter or Fit walks up to him and goes, kind of looks like a butthole, and then someone goes, it's the Bagel Butthole! So that's the Bagel Butthole banner. The alliteration's fantastic, but...
The Triple B.
Triple B. But yeah, that's that banner there.
I like it. Like I said, I like simple banners, and they are very effective. Does it have a black border, or is that something that's natural to Minecraft?
I tried to put a black border around it, so I think so, yeah. I honestly don't remember.
That's pretty good. Simple's good. I mean, keep it simple, stupid, you know? Although some of these banners I've seen are just amazing. Little dragon heads, flaming fire out of them. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that reminds me, we should... because we did this thing in this server here when we were playing Skyblock, where we had everyone make a banner and give it to us, and that's what we kind of lined our kitchen/dining room area where our Christmas tree is right now with all the different banners that people made for us, and it was really cool. So I'll show you some of those before we go.
Banners and map art really bring an extra level to Minecraft, especially on 2B.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And let's see here. I know there's one or two other questions I wanted to ask you here. What do you think is, from Michael Matheson, what is the weirdest thing to ever happen to you on 2B2T?
The weirdest thing to ever happen to me on 2B2T.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, boy. That's a weird one.
I know,
I'm
right?
not sure how to answer that. Honestly, probably the weirdest thing to happen to me on 2B2T is the fact that people started liking me. That was very surprising because my first videos were all about, like, don't trust anyone. Don't say hi to anyone, log out if you see anyone, run from anyone. And then from that, people were like, hey, I'm cool. You know, you could be my friend. I'm cool. You can come see at my base. And that was weird because most people on 2B2T fucking hate everyone. So I thought that was pretty strange. People started leaving me gifts. People started building things in my honor that in places I have or haven't been. I'll tell you this one. I'll change it up a bit.
Yeah.
We'll go to what's the weirdest place I've ever been on 2B2T.
All right.
And this is one of my favorite monuments. Yeah.
Love it.
The Cactus Island is a monument in the plus region where somebody just built this massive cactus farm on top of a beach, essentially. It looks like a peninsula. And built a little wooden hut on it that is a cactus museum. And there's a bunch of signs about cactuses, and there's a picture of a cactus on the wall, a frame with a piece of cactus in it. And in one of the rooms, there's just a bunch of signs about this guy talking about cactuses, and he slowly goes crazy throughout the signs.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a weird surreal movie where somebody finds like a notebook and it starts out normal and the last page is just cactus.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
It's one of my favorite places on 2B. I have no idea if it still exists. After the Russia era, pretty much everything could have been wiped out, but I had a desire to go back there one day.
Yeah, that's super cool. So that's my next question, if you know if it's still around there. But yeah, all right, we'll take one or two more questions here from chat, and then we'll continue on. So the turtle asks, what's the weirdest relationship you've seen on 2B2T? I don't know if it's between players or...
I would say between players. Man, there's a bunch because people are so strange on that. I would say probably the relationship between. Man, there's a bunch I could go for here. I just try not to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with the relationship between Sato and the old players. In general, all of them together.
Okay.
Because some of them are really fond of Sato. They have high esteem for him. He brings, a sense of order to the chaos. He led the 4th incursion. I believe he led the 3rd incursion, which Fit was a part of. But on the other hand, there are some people who absolutely hate him. They talk bad about him constantly. They say he's power hungry and other bad things that I won't repeat.
Yeah.
But Sato is a bit of a mystery to me because of something that actually happened to me. Whereas most of the stuff I hear from people is just repeated bullshit that I try not to get into. But Sato did something to me that, again, doesn't really offend me. I wasn't hurt by it or anything. But during the 4th incursion, I was barely able to play. I would hop in, chat with people, grab some free stuff from the incursion base and move on. And incursion bases were abandoned frequently because they didn't know who they could trust. So they would trust some people, cords would get leaked, they'd move on, they'd build a new base and trust a few less people.
Yeah.
It's classic 2B2T syndrome. But I eventually found out I was at the wrong base, and I asked some people in chat, hey, where do we go to the next base? And they said, okay, Sato told us that this is the base we need to go to, so head toward these coordinates. I said, great. I went to the coordinates, took me a few days because, again, I don't have a lot of time to play.
Yeah.
I get there, and it's a nice little base. It's got a black flag over it. It looks like a little dwarven fortress set into the side of a mountain. But it's got a very alpha appearance to it.
Okay.
Definitely an early base without a lot of frills. So I said, fine. I start digging into the side of the mountain. I'm going to set up my own little room, contribute a little bit to the base. As I'm doing that one day, Drew Bookman logs on. And if you remember a few minutes ago, I told you that Drew and Sato fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Drew logs in and he goes, how did you find this base? What are you doing here? This is my base. So I tell him, I was told by Sato and others that this is the place to go. This is the newest incursion base. I'm here to build a little bit, get a little experience from your mob grinder. And he tells me, this isn't an incursion base. I'm not part of the incursion. This is my private fallback base. Sato promised he would never reveal the cords to this base. I can't believe he did it. I'm pissed off, etc., etc.
Oh boy.
So there I am, trying to calm down Drew about the fact that I'm in his base. He tells me, look, I don't have a problem with you, DoctrZombie. Nobody really does. But I'm going to blow this base up. If Sato released the cords publicly, he wanted to know who I got them from. I told him Baba J. I told him Henry. He said, if Sato released these cords publicly, I'm pissed off about it. I'm going to have to wither my base. He's a fucker.
Yeah.
Whatever. He moves on. And so I told him, look, dude, I was going to do a recording of this base after it was abandoned. He said, do not record this base until I leave. I said, fine, no problem. I accept that. When I logged in to do a recording, there were withers everywhere, so I didn't really get much.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little base, and I'm sad to see it go. But that is just the way 2B2T is. We build sandcastles, and the tide comes in and takes them away.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, seriously, Sharkadu is right, man. You are incredible at telling stories. I just find myself captivated and completely lose track of all the questions I had, and it's great.
And we're only talking about 2B2T, which I have barely any experience with.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. And then, let's see, there's one more I wanted to hit. Let's see. Oh, I guess this one's from Wonder Woman. How did you and FitMC meet and become friends?
Boy, Fit was a fan of mine long before Rusher showed up on the server. And I've made sure that was true by going back into some of my old videos and finding comments from him.
Yeah.
So 6 months before Rusher showed up, Fit was commenting in my videos telling me, I love your content, this is a great video, etc. Specifically, I remember him posting on my music video, my rap that I did for 2B. So Fit was always a fan. And the sad truth is, I don't do well with people's names. Unless I repeat the name a dozen times in a day, unless I talk to somebody over and over in chat, I will forget you.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about it, but that's just the way my brain works. I forget my coworkers' names until I work with them a dozen times, unless they're a hot chick. So, so Fit, I didn't really know anything about Fit, who used to go by Silent Pedro, until the Russia war started and he started taking command. So when that happened, I said, here's a guy who is clearly got the voice and the talent for YouTube. He's up and coming. He's grabbing more and more hits every day. I was a little jealous, honestly, because I've been doing 2B videos for years at that point, and I would have loved to have moved into that role, but I'm not really the type. I'm not the guy who's going to be like, I've got a sword, I'm going to go kill rushers, I'm going to throw up 10 videos a day because I fucking have a job and kids. But Fit was a fan of mine, and I became a fan of Fit's. We try to work together on occasion. We chit-chat in the chat sometimes, but Fit's pretty busy. He does a lot of YouTube stuff now, and so he doesn't have a whole lot of time for old DoctrZombie. But if I ever bump into him in 2B, he's got nothing to worry about. Most people don't, unless they're totally naked and clearly begging for food or something. But one day Fit and I will definitely base together. Just don't know when.
Fair enough. All right, yeah, so that's I think that pretty much wraps up everything about 2B2T there. So let's see, let's move on. What are your hopes and goals for your channel? I don't know if you have any kind of set goals, or if you just want to continue growing, or...
If I could quit my shitty job and work and do YouTube for the rest of my life, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
In fact, I've told my wife, look, I missed the YouTube craze by minutes. If I had gone full out when I started doing Minecraft videos, I would probably be in a role of either Paul Soares Jr. or Etho.
Yeah.
Guys that have taken a very calm, relaxed, monotone voice, personality, and made that their living. I didn't. I took a more conventional approach. I work in software as a software test engineer. I would love to have a YouTube channel that actually makes money. I've gotten a total of 2 checks from YouTube for $100 each. And I put most of that money right back into the channel because I told people I would. I said, look, this is a hobby for me. If I make money, I'll buy stuff. And I bought a webcam. I've paid for software, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would love to have a YouTube channel where I feel like it's worthwhile to continue. Even one that could support my family. That will never happen. So I'm just willing to settle for having fun.
Hey, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone else will invade 2B or another server that you play on or something like that, and you can start a war with Canadian online. And just kind of have it blow up.
I could if I had time.
Mm-hmm.
I post videos once a week at the best.
Yeah, that's kind of tough to do with the job because I work full time and I barely that's why I don't really make too many videos. I just kind of stream because it's really simple just to get off work and sit down for an hour and a half and play a game. But editing takes a lot more effort. But let's see here. So I know just kind of throw it out there. I know you said you were going to try streaming after this stream here. Why don't we what'd you have in mind for that?
Yes, the secret sexy after party. I'm sure everyone is interested to know about that.
Yes.
Stryak, if he's available, will be joining me for a game of Quiplash with the viewers. If you guys know what Quiplash is, get excited, get hyped. But don't tell Stryak because he has no idea, and I'm so excited.
I have no idea what Quiplash is, so.
If you don't know what Quiplash is, then after this interview is over, you can pounce over to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing a YouTube stream. Probably take about 10 minutes to pee and figure things out before we go live, and then we'll play Quiplash together. So yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Okay.
On the topic of games, I'm sure you're about to ask, what other games do I play?
Devils. You see, you've watched one or two of these before. You kind of know my little pattern here.
Oh, I'm just psychic. I've been following you.
I like it.
So, man, games. I love games. If you'd asked me a couple years ago what my all-time favorite game of all time, the best game of all time was, I would have told you it was XCOM 2 Terror from the Deep.
Yeah.
A game that came out over 20 years ago that I have played on and off since I was a child. It taught me to write hex code because I would write it to cheat. And that game is phenomenal. And the new games, the new XCOM games, are equally good. But there will always be a special place for me for XCOM 2 TFTD.
Okay.
Other games that I play, I mentioned RimWorld. I love RimWorld. I'm a RimWorld convert. I've been trying to get you to play some 7 Days to Die. I'm thinking you, me, maybe some others. We can get maybe Fit or Netta or some other people to play a little co-op 7 Days to Die. That would be super awesome. That game scares me, by the way.
I love that game. It's so good.
Those freaking zombies, man. They make noises that zombies should not be making outside my tiny wooden window.
Absolutely. Like, I've tried to stream it. Excuse me there. And like my computer, it's just a little crap top here. It's not powerful enough to stream it. But I tried recording it the other day, and it recorded it pretty good for about 15 minutes. And then it started to slow down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like doing a recording and you want someone to join in with you, I'll definitely join in there.
You know, that is a concern, because there have been some games that I've tried to record that slow down quite a bit. And I have not actually tried 7 Days to Die. But we'll see. I'll give it a tech demo test someday. Maybe instead of a UHC, the next thing we'll do is a little 7 Days to Die. Also, Tim McNukepants has been begging us to play Rust. I like Rust. Rust is good. Rust has some very, very good moments. It's another one of those games that creates stories when you play it. So I could see us playing some Rust soon too.
Is that the game where you start off completely butt-ass naked?
Balls naked.
Just balls to the ground. That's what it is. You got nothing. I like it. Yeah, I'd be down to give it a try.
Rust is fun because it randomly assigns you a gender and a penis and or vagina size.
Oh.
And you can't change that shit. That's just, you get a code. That code gives you a woman or a man, and so you are a lady for the rest of your Rust life.
That is incredible.
I don't know why, but I kind of like it. I think it's like, do you want to be a man with a huge black penis? No, too bad. You're a tiny Asian woman. Deal with it. If you don't like it, delete the game, because that's all we're letting you play.
You know, that's really funny, because that takes about an hour and a half off of my setup time, because I spend it, like I said, about an hour and a half just on character creation. So that would actually be really helpful. But all right, yeah, we got Rust there. I know. I just downloaded a game called Stranded Deep. It's kind of, another survival, plane crashes, survive on the islands and don't die, sort of thing. So
yeah, I think I've heard of it. Yeah, there's a lot of survival games out there now. I feel like Minecraft kind of sparked it a bit.
Yeah.
And then H1Z1 and some other games similar to that really made it a genre all of its own. And it works, man. Survival games, they tickle my brain. So I get excited about pretty much all of them. But I only have time for a few. And 7 Days to Die, I saw it, I liked it, I bought it, I played it, and I hated it. And I went back to it, and I'm glad I did, because it got a lot better.
That's cool. That's cool. So are you a fan of like horror games then, or just zombie games? 'Cause, like, I know you said you like zombies a lot, but...
Yeah, sometimes. I got to be in a special mood to play a strictly horror game. A lot of them move a little slow because you got to build up the horror. I played a little bit of Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Yeah.
I didn't get through it, and then my save got corrupted.
Oh, no.
And I just could not bring myself to trudge through hours of opening tiny little fucking cupboards looking for shit, and I just gave up. A lot of my gaming is based on time. I did get through Skyrim twice.
Oh, wow.
But I have not gotten through Fallout 3, and I don't own Fallout 4 either. So, like, I want to, but I just don't have the time. And right now I'm playing 7 Days to Die, RimWorld, Minecraft. Gosh, that's about it. I played EVE Online for a couple weeks when it went free to play, but I stopped that as well.
All right. Yeah, that's super cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Are you a Resident Evil fan at all?
Sorry, go ahead again.
Oh, are you a Resident Evil fan?
The games or the movies?
Both.
I played Resident Evil on the GameCube. in college, Resident Evil 1.
Okay.
And that gave me some very good moments. My college roommate had a girlfriend who was quite skittish, and one of those liberal hippie types.
Yeah.
And when I was walking through the hallway and the dogs burst
Yes!
the windows, she screamed and cried, and I laughed and laughed. Oh, it was so good.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Like that. I like games like that. I enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's. I actually like it more for the lore than for the scary factor. But of course, that game is one of the types that like my son freaking loves.
Yeah.
So I've seen enough of it. I can pass on that now. But FNAF is good. And again, I like the story behind FNAF more than the game itself.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I love horror games, but I can't do jump scares. Jump scares make me like freak out, and you know, it just doesn't work. You know, I just feel like jump scares are really cheap thrills. I like games that kind of like build the suspense. Yeah.
Strack.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for a story?
Oh yeah.
I got a story.
Let's hear it.
So, in my life, there have been 2 games that are not strictly horror games that have made me scream at my computer.
Oh boy.
Number 1 is System Shock 2.
Okay.
Are you familiar with System Shock 2?
I'm familiar with the name.
Okay. You must play it at some point in your life. It doesn't age quite well, but it is the spiritual... BioShock was the spiritual successor to System Shock 2.
Okay.
So if you like that kind of game where you gain powers, you gain experience, it's a first-person shooter, but it's like a dark horror mystery type thing, System Shock 2 is excellent. And that game starts off fairly standard FPS type game. You know, there's an explosion, you're running, things have gone bad, oh shit. But then you get a moment alone and you're like, okay, things are fine. Oh look, here's a box. I have to open the box. In order to open the box, I have to complete a little hacking minigame. And while you're doing that hacking minigame, a fucking zombie comes through the door and goes, and scares the shit out of me every time.
I love it.
I check the hallways. He's not there. I sneak around with my wrench. He's not there. I go to open that fucking box and he shows up. So that was one.
Yeah.
And I screamed at that, and I was like, okay, I love this game. Because I screamed. The other game was Half-Life 2, which is not really... I'm sorry. No, Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
It's not really a scary game. However, there's a crossbow on top of a shark tank.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I know that exact moment. Yes.
You know that moment.
Because it happened to me
really
too.
A good moment.
Yep.
Everybody remembers it. And you look at it and you go, well, that's a fucking trap. I see what's going on here.
Yep.
You go out, you get the crossbow, drops you in the water. You go, okay, no big deal. And then a shark shows up and it's right in your face. And me and my friend were sitting together because it was the first night I'd played and we were just bawling through the game.
Yeah.
And he and I both go, ah, 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 and start shooting randomly in the water. And then we die and we're both like, oh my god, this game is awesome.
Yes, oh my god, that exact moment. Oh, the minute you said Half-Life, I was like, oh, I know where this is going. This is perfect. Oh god, that's great. No, there's actually one game that really did this to me recently was Resident Evil 7. They have a playable demo out right now that you can download. It's free on Steam. And holy cow, it is insane. Because like most of the Resident Evils, you know, it's third person, you know, it's over the shoulder. Or like you got to control them as they move around the room. This one is first person. You have no way to defend yourself, at least in the demo I played. I see they recently added a gun to it. And basically just try to get out of the house, but there's like this hillbilly family that's infested with the plague or the virus or whatever it is in this one. And my god, it is terrifying.
I've heard good things about it. Penny Arcade said it was, you know, really, really good, especially in VR.
Yeah.
They had a comic about pissing on their shit and shitting on their piss.
That seems fair. That seems fair. So yeah, let's see here. How long have we been going? I think we've been going just about an hour here. So, what do you say we wind this down here, Doc? What are your final thoughts here before we get to the final questionnaire?
Oh boy, I think we covered pretty much everything except politics. So if you want to anger people, we could do that. But,
well, I mean, I feel like we did cover politics. What do you think over here? Is this this sign here? Is this
Well, you know what? Honestly, I voted for the other guy, And
Yeah.
when I say the other guy, I do not mean Hillary Clinton. I actually voted for Gary Johnson. I was a supporter of Gary Johnson. I thought both Hillary and Donald Trump were unelectable, and of course I knew one of them was going to win. It was not a matter of, oh, Gary Johnson could win. It was a matter of voicing a protest in the shitty state of our nation. But I really enjoyed Donald Trump's speech today. I know that most people won't, because they simply can't believe what he says. And then he got into office and immediately did stuff that makes no sense. But I believe of the two, Donald Trump would have been my preferred candidate. Which is hard to say because, you know, I have to swallow shit while saying it.
Yeah. But
the truth of the matter is, Hillary Clinton did things that you are not allowed to do. Some would say illegal, and they would be right. So it was a sad decision, but I had to make it because as an American, it is my job to make that decision.
Yeah.
And I voted for somebody else.
You know, it's very fair. Like, cause like I have a couple friends of mine who actually didn't vote at all, and they're bitching about the outcome here. I'm just like, well, if you didn't vote, you really don't have a right to bitch about it. You know, it's like,
I mean, you still have a right to bitch, but you could have tried.
Yeah, exactly.
To change something.
Yeah.
You know, you could have made your voice heard and voted for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson and said, look, the two-party system is broken and terrible. Let's fix it. But, you know, they didn't. If you look at the numbers, way more people didn't vote than voted for both candidates put together.
Yeah. And that's kind of crazy to think about. Like, that's absolutely insane. But, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down, I really feel like we need more than a two-party system. But
yeah, it's I would much rather move to a British parliament. I also hear that the Australian system of government is fantastic, where you can vote for more than one person, and your votes carry like a certain weight. That sounds exciting.
Interesting.
Because people then would be like, yeah, my vote for a first party candidate won't matter unless, you know, or the third party candidate won't matter unless they don't win. And then the second party candidate that I voted for matters. So it sounds intriguing. It'll not change in my lifetime, I doubt, because everything's rigged so that the two parties who are in power stay in power. That's why Gary Johnson never made it to the stage to debate.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's fair enough. But yeah, so we're good. We're ending on a heavy note here. I like it.
Yeah, let's sober up here, and then let's all go to an after party.
You know, let me tell you what's wrong with the government here. I mean, hold on, let me refill my drink.
About fucking America. You know, we got to keep it real a little bit. I'm an open book.
I like
everything that I say is out there and in public, with a few exceptions. You know, for security reasons. Like I recently had my PayPal hacked. Man, was that a bitch?
Really?
Yeah, somebody brute forced my password, I think, ordered a pizza and took a couple taxis. I have all his information, including phone number and address.
I mean, if you're looking to get rid of him, I know a guy.
I know a whole pile of guys. I play on 2B2T.
There's got to be a hitman in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's fine. PayPal was able to stop everything because I found out about it, you know, within an hour or two. But you know, it's a pain. I have to change my password.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so yeah, like I do in every Inside the Minecraft Studio, because I kind of modeled this after a show called Inside the Actor Studio that was hosted by James Lipton, and
yeah,
basically,
right.
Yeah, what he would do is, you know, sit down, interview someone, and at the end, he'd always ask a questionnaire from Bernard Pivot, who actually came up with this questionnaire because I believe he hosted a French version of, you know, just like an interview kind of show. So we're gonna be going off that. So Doc, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
All right, DoctrZombie, what is your favorite word?
Moist. Suck for you, people.
I feel like half the chat just had like one of their eyes start twitching.
I'm also a big fan of twat.
And to follow up with that, DoctrZombie, what is your least favorite word?
Alt-right. I hate words that have been invented to marginalize people, and the alt-right word that was invented specifically to keep Donald Trump from getting elected, is just, it's like saying, it makes me angry because most of the quote-unquote alt-right is fucking like 4chan users who are specifically trolling people.
Yeah.
Nobody acts and behaves like these people in public. I say that, and then there's people who shoot churches.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Breitbart News, for example,
Mhm.
is not alt-right. It's conservative, and then a bunch of trolls come in and say horrible things. Like,
Yeah.
come on, people. This is the internet. If you don't know how that works, you don't deserve to be working at CNN. Fuck me. It's so simple to Google stuff and be like, oh yeah, an asshole kid who's 12 years old wrote this.
I love it. Oh man, Doc, I love your enthusiasm. It's perfect. Your passion.
I
Fire.
have passion after a bottle of Keystone.
Wait, you have Keystone in bottles there? We only get it in cans.
You know what? I said bottle. I meant can. You heard
Okay.
it earlier. Yeah, it's a can.
I was gonna say that's some high class Keystone right there. So,
That does not exist. It's not high class Keystone. This is as low class as I can get.
all right. For the third question, Dr. Zombie, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, and or emotionally?
As part of my hobbies that I did not mention, I can mention now. I am a hunter. I go out into the woods and I shoot animals. Only deer,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I would shoot other animals, but I never fucking find them. But I really enjoy being alone in the forest in the dead of winter and the quiet. It's very relaxing. It's very spiritually motivating, and I appreciate it on many levels, because not often do many of us have the chance to reflect on life in solitary silence.
That's actually a really good thing. Yeah, one of my favorite things in the world is to go fishing and just kind of sit in the boat and cast a line in the water and just, kind of space out.
I've shot more deer than I've caught fish, by the way.
Oh boy. All right. And then what turns you off?
Creatively, what turns me off? Okay. So what turns me off / pisses me off is when my IT department thinks that me having a background that is not the standard background for my company is a fucking violation that they need to work on. Because if you lock down the entire company's background screen to the word of your company on a black and white background, I will find a way to fix that, and then I will put it on a thumb drive and start handing that shit out.
Oh wow.
So, IT departments who think that they're Hitler, that turns me off.
Fair enough. I mean, I feel like a couple times you could have just said like IT department. Everyone's just like, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, IT. I hate that.
All right. Ready for the fun one, Doc? What is your favorite curse word?
Dick. Absolutely dick. I love dick. I'm going with it. I love saying dick.
Fair
Dick
enough.
is good.
Fair enough. Let's see here. What sound or noise do you love?
Silence is a good one. Certainly. I love that noise that the can of beer makes when I first open that. DoctrZombie loves dick confirmed. Yes, yeah, that's a sound that I love. The sound of a fresh can of beer.
All right. And what sound or noise do you hate?
Screaming children. Especially children that are screaming over who just blew up whose fucking Minecraft world.
Fair enough. All right. And then what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ironically, politics. I don't know that I would ever make it because I'm too honest and too upfront about basically everything. But I would love to be a politician. I feel like I would do a good job in politics. I feel like I am a communicator and that I'm the most trusted person on 2B2T. I think that says a lot.
I was gonna say that's good enough to put on a job resume right there.
Yeah, fuck. I made a bunch of racist bastards love me. It's weird. It's also on Donald Trump's resume.
You're basically president.
Yeah. I also think I would make a good comedian. I feel like I was pressured mainly by myself to go into a very stable job. So I gravitated toward computers. They told me, if you're a computer scientist, you'll make $100,000 a year. It's not fucking true, but it was a safe bet, and it's okay. I've got a family of 3. I can't really complain.
Yeah.
I would love to be a professional YouTuber, but that ship sailed a little bit before I got there. But yeah, I all of those things.
All right. And what profession would you not like to try?
I would not like to be a teacher. I cannot stand parents for one, but children for two.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's ironic because the first videos I put out were educational, tutorial videos. But there's something different about somebody who comes to you to get into education and information, as opposed to being forced to be there. As most children feel like they're in school, they're forced to be there, they don't want to be there. I know I fucking hated school.
Yeah.
College was awesome. College was the shit. I didn't like class too much, but college in general was a great place. But I would hate to be a teacher.
Okay. All right. And last question here before we say our final goodbyes. DoctrZombie, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would like her to say, welcome, my disciple, my true believer. Sit at the table and feast with us. For tomorrow we all gather together and the hunt begins again.
I love it. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, well, I guess let's ask this. Doc, was there anything else you wanted to say before we end the stream here?
Yes, I would like to invite everyone here to go and enjoy the after party with us. I'm going to take a quick whiz. I'm going to set up some stuff. I don't know how long it's going to last because my wife's going to be home soon. We've ran a little bit late due to some technical issues.
Yeah.
But we're going to play Quiplash on my YouTube channel. And if you hop over to youtube.com/c/DoctrZombie, I think.
Yeah.
Just search for DoctrZombie. You'll find it. And we'll play some Quiplash. And it's going to be good. Stryak is going to be a Quiplash version. So that's going to be a good time.
We're going to, yeah.
If you guys want to join in and play with us, get out your smartphones, your tablets, your devices. I think you could even play in a browser. Get ready, because we're going to play some Quiplash.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. We're going to play some Quiplash after this. So, thank you very much, DoctrZombie, for coming here. And as always...
Thank you for having me. It's been a great time. I love talking.
Hey, you're good at it. It's been a lot of fun, so... All right, ladies and gentlemen, DoctrZombie.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.